Hey y'all, welcome to my Tuesday Stinger Mantis Lego live stream. I'm really excited to get into this build today because we're finally getting into, I know I said we were like really getting to the fun of it in doing what we did last time, which was the back half of the ship. However, today we're getting into all the rest of it. And I'm interested to see how much we get through because there's a lot going on with the rest of this. So I hope y'all have grabbed yourself a fun little drink. I have my mango liquid death as per usual. And yeah, I hope you're excited to get into this because I am excited to continue this build. I was talking to one of my coworkers today and they were like, didn't you say it would be like two more streams after this? And I was like, kind of putting it into comparison. I was like, oh, maybe 3 or 4 because yeah, there's a lot still. We have to build this whole portion of the ship, which is like the kitchen, the little couch area, the doors to get in the ship, the holo table area, and the cockpit. And then we have to build the entire top of the ship. So it's going to be fun. I brought this... this is fine. I brought the ship onto my desk so we could kind of look at it really quick. However, it is getting so big that it's now in the way. So we are going to put her to the side and get on with the build. Let's see if I can do this gracefully. Ugh. Okay. I think that was good. Also, hello, number 1 fan Crystal, number 1 chat Crystal. Hi, Andrew. Glad to see you both. If you haven't already, make sure you vote in the poll. This is a divisive one. I made a whole video about, are we going to see Maul versus Vader? And I was like, you know what? That's going to be our poll topic for today. I considered being like, ooh, who's your favorite? Which character are you looking most forward to in Maul Shadow Lord that's not Darth Maul? And I was like, we don't know anything about half these people. But after we got some news about some new Funko Pops coming out for the show for a couple characters, I was like, this might be an interesting poll, but I decided against it anyway. All right, let's go ahead and get these out here. See what we got going on. I see y'all talking about the snow in the chat. We actually got snow where I am, and I got to work from home yesterday because of it, which is always lovely. I actually shoveled some snow too. And then I was able to work from home, so I didn't even need to shovel it to begin with. You can see we've got a lot of gray. But we've got some fun accents of orange as well to add to the mix. And we've got some clear pieces too. Now these clear pieces are definitely interesting and you'll see how they're incorporated. All right, let's jump into it. Oh, wrong mouse. I'm over here trying to scroll on my iPad instructions with my computer mouse. How's everyone's week going so far? Like I said, I worked from home yesterday. I worked from the office today. And I was very productive at work today, which I was surprised about. Is this the right piece? No. There's so much gray, it's hard to tell. So there should be 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. So it's this one. I will say, in talking about the roads, Luckily, the roads in my neighborhood were the only ones that really had a little bit of snow on them. And I was a little nervous this morning, to be honest. When I was leaving my house, I was like, the last thing I need to do is to slide in some ice and get into a car crash in my neighborhood on the way to work. Thankfully, that did not happen. There we are. It looks like our poll's 50-50 right now, which I like. It's such a tough call between Maul and Vader because, like, I could see both sides winning, but everyone, you know, it's just like Vader, Vader, Vader. I think Maul could beat him if the circumstances were right. I really do. Maybe that's my toxic trait. It was 80 in LA this week. Well, it was a nice warm 40 degrees today where I'm at. And when it's been in the 20s for like the past 2 weeks, it's insane how the 40s feels so much better. Words I never thought I would say. I mean, preferably it would be like 75. Guess who you voted for? Well, I know who you voted for because I was watching the poll when you were the only person in the chat, so it's kind of cheating, but Crystal voted for Maul. No, I'm just kidding. Crystal voted for Vader. Let's hear your reasoning, Crystal. I want to hear why you believe that Vader wins the duel. Not that I disagree with you, because like I said, I feel like it'd have to be right for Maul to win, like under certain circumstances, but I'm interested to hear your reasoning for Vader. You see, we've got a little platform going on here. Oh, those are not the same size. Wow. Oh, hi, Dr. Sci-Fi. They said the Stinger Mantis is such a cool, newer Star Wars ship. I love how it reconfigures on landing. Yes, and the greatest part about this set is that it will reconfigure. The wings will spin. It's got landing gear. It's a super great build. It's by 2 Bricks. I've got the link in the description if you're interested, because of course this is not an official Lego set. This is a mock. But it's so good. It's so good. All right, Crystal said he is Vader is so much stronger in the Force by a long shot. True, and he's bigger and a Sith. Maul is definitely more scrappy, but I don't think he could take Big Daddy Vader. Vader is Big Daddy. That's definitely a good way to put it. See, my theory is that, and I put out a whole video about it, so y'all probably already heard it, but I think we might see Maul vs. Vader in Shadow Lord, and I think Vader will end up killing Devin, the new Twi'lek character. That's my theory, and I think that's how Maul gets away unscathed. Or maybe he doesn't, because he is a little bizarre in Rebels when we first meet him again. So, who knows? Also, just as a heads up, if you haven't already, make sure to like the stream and subscribe to my channel. I'm streaming this Stinger Mantis build every Tuesday until I finish. I imagine it will be probably at least 3 more streams. But like I said, it really just depends on how far we get tonight. What if Maul gets cut in half? Well, we know he'll survive because he did it once, and depending where he gets cut, it might just be cybernetics. Alright, so we've got this here. We're going to put that to the side for now. So he'd only be a fourth. Yeah, if Maul got cut in half again, technically... Oh, I didn't even think if he got caught, if he got cut in half in like the middle of his chest. Like if only his organic parts got cut in half. Yeah, literally there'd be like a fourth of him left. No health bar, Vader, you will not win. Okay, speaking of fighting Vader, I would know from experience, as would anybody who's played Jedi Survivor, that was a extremely tough battle. Extremely tough. It was rough. And I streamed it, so y'all can literally go back and watch how like stressful it was. I think I gave up after like an hour and was like, I'm putting down the difficulty. So we'll see when I get to streaming Jedi Survivor again in the lead up to Jedi 3. We'll see if I can do it without having to cheat. Well, I guess it's not cheating. You know, whatever you want to call it. And so as we continue building this platform, you can kind of see the scale of what is going to be the interior of the Mantis. And it's a pretty good size. Yeah, the Jedi Fallen Order fight scared you? Yeah, it scared the shit out of me too, because I was like, we are not fighting Vader right now. Especially after he killed Trilla. And then, thankfully, we get to just run away instead, which was definitely the smart move. Now, do we think we're going to see Cal take on Vader in Jedi 3? That's a good question. Do I think Cal can beat Vader? No. Alright, so this is where it gets... Oh, you know what? Never mind. I was going to say this is where it gets tricky, but I don't think in this batch of Legos we have too many of like the similar colors. Like we have these solid red studs and then there's like translucent red studs. There's these, you know, gray brick pieces and then I have like a silver shiny one. So it does get a little complicated trying to figure out which is which, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it's been a while since the gaming streams, and I've tried to stream other games, but like specifically I think the last one I did was the Jedi Power Battles remaster, and that was just not it. That was not fun. I did not enjoy that game. I got further than I did when I was a kid, but I don't know if I had any more fun doing it. Oh shit, these aren't even the right pieces. Hey Eric, how are you doing this evening? How's the snow where you're at? Yeah, BD1 was a big help in that fight versus Vader. Because I completely forgot that Vader actually stabs Cal, like in the chest. It's crazy, because you really don't know what's going to happen. And then thankfully BD1 goes and like attacks him in his, I don't know what area you would call that, like his shoulders. Up into like where his helmet meets the rest of his suit, which probably is one of the few vulnerable areas, but like who really gets that close? And then thankfully Seer saves the day. Where's our poll at, speaking of? Oh. Vader's got a big goal. He's got 75% of the votes. All right. You said you need to take a picture of your BD perched on your friend's Vader. What kind of BD one do you have? Is it the Lego one or is it a different one? Oh, I couldn't. Now that I can see the chat properly in my window, Eric said you can't see, you have an early morning and a long day around the corner. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi regardless. Alright, Dr. Sci-Fi said I need to take a picture of my BD perched on my friend's Vader costume next time we're at a con. Yep, sounds like a great idea. You have 2 3D printed BDs full size? BD1 is a white, red, and is an arm puppet. BD6 is white and blue with remote controlled riding around on the mouse. Okay, Dr. Sci-Fi, I know who you are now. You know, I thought I recognized your name, but you mentioning the BD1 puppets, I know exactly who you are. Those puppets look amazing. They look really, really good. You are most welcome. You can't see Eric in the chat at all? Eric Elliott? You know who Eric is. This should remind you. He said, the Zillow Beast loves you. Alright, let's put this to the side here. There's some really cool stuff that I've seen 3D printed, and sometimes I'm like, damn. Wish I could 3D print things, but I guess my stepdad does have a 3D printer, so it's definitely possible, but alright, somehow, as per usual, I am missing a piece. Oh, you said no, who is Dr. Sci-Fi? I'm pretty sure Dr. Sci-Fi's name on Instagram is just Dr. Sci-Fi. If not, put your handle in the chat so Crystal can pull up your page. I don't know if it'll let you post the link in the chat, but if you want to send the link to me, then I can post it in the chat. Oh, or put it on Discord. Whatever's easier. Okay, did I need to open up a whole nother bag? I have this bag too, which I did not open yet. But maybe I do need to. Alright, we got the hollow table, which we're not doing yet. Got the plants, which we're not doing yet. I'm going to keep this up here, but I'm not going to empty it out yet. Because as you can see, I'm trying to be organized. We'll see how long that lasts. Crap, I do think I need to open this entire bag. Ugh. Alright. Are the pieces I need in here? No. They're not in here. I guess we're just gonna do it. Like Yoda says, do or do not. There is no try. So, we're doing. Y'all know I love a good Star Wars quote. So I pour this whole bag out, and now I can't even find another one of the pieces that I need. This is the fun of Lego MOCs. Maybe on the last stream, I'll show y'all the bag of extra pieces that I don't need, and you can see how many that I bought. I could probably build a whole nother ship. Not the Mantis, but something smaller for sure. Also, let me adjust this microphone. Let me know if I'm too loud or too quiet, y'all. There it is. Okay. So this one's too long. And this one is just right. Perfect. Oh, and that is going to go down here. Are we seeing the vision? I'm sure y'all can guess what this next part is going to be for. Just by these pieces. Oh. Okay, there we go. I was like, this isn't lining up right. Need to flip the ship around. But yeah, with these kind of hinged pieces, I'm sure y'all can guess what's going to go there. All right. But yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier about the new Funko Pops that they put out. So they put out, I think it's 5. There are 2 new Maul Funko Pops, which are very interesting because he's wearing like these purplish blue robes, which is different for him. And he's got on the purplish blue robes. We've got a Funko Pop of a new character, another Dathomirian Zabrak named Icarus, who oddly is very pretty. They've got like this, I'm sure it's just like their facial markings and tattoos, but there's this like, it almost looks like a smoky eye with graphic liner and some red. Crystal and I were talking about it earlier actually before the stream, and I was like, this person looks like they have got on some intense eye makeup, and I'm kind of into it. So there's a Funko Pop of them. There's a Funko Pop of Rook Cast, which I guess for the Rook Cast stands, that's exciting. And there is a Funko Pop of the 11th Inquisitor. who I like to refer to as the Birdman, who I guess now has the name of the Crow, as they put it on the actual marketing images that were released, which is interesting because he's had many names. And now we can add the Crow. But I think it makes sense because of like the kind of what I like to refer to as it's like a plague doctor looking mask almost that the Inquisitor wears. It's the one that Ahsoka fights in Tales of the Jedi. So they're getting a Funko Pop. And I think that's it. Was that 5? The one thing I'm very curious about is why we're not getting a Devin Funko Pop, as Devin is going to probably be an integral character in the series, but don't get their own Funko Pop. But as we kind of discussed on Discord, maybe they're saving Devin for a second wave. You know, they don't want to give anything away about the character, but it wouldn't be the first time Star Wars has shared some kind of merchandise which kind of, not leaked, but like had information that hinted to stuff that was going to happen in the series. But yeah, Dr. Sci-Fi, if you want to just DM me on Instagram with a link, I'll repost it in the chat for you. The episode 1 soundtrack, you knew exactly what I was referring to. So for those who don't know, when the soundtrack was released for Star Wars Episode 1, yes, the soundtrack spoiled Qui-Gon's death because there was a track called, I think it was Qui-Gon's Funeral was the track name. And so everybody knew that Liam Neeson was not going to survive Episode 1 before the movie even came out. And you know, it's Liam Neeson. So everybody was like, oh my god, Liam Neeson in Star Wars, that's so cool. He's like a badass. He's going to be a Jedi. He's got a green lightsaber. And this was probably the second green lightsaber we ever saw on screen. But because of the name of the track, everyone knew he was going to die going into the movie. So that was a bummer. All right, let me work on posting this link really quick. Okay, link is copied. I've got so many screens in front of me right now. Oh Lord, not the sound. You would think I don't know how to work technology with the way this is going. Copy. Okay. You know what? This is what we're going to do. I'm just going to type it out. Because every time I try to copy it, it wants to copy a bunch of crap. Y'all better make sure you go look at the site afterwards. All right, that should work. Let me know if the link works in the chat. Well, I guess it's not even a link, but if you copy and paste the text, it should work. Oh my god. Yeah. That's how slow the internet used to load. That's how slow I'm moving trying to do this. Multitasking. But yeah, your BD droids look so good. On your website, which I'll check it out after the stream, but do you go into like the process of making them and painting them and whatnot? There we go. See, we've got some tiles going on here. It's looking a little more vehicle-like. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've come across so many of your posts. I mean, I follow Dr. Sci-Fi on Instagram. Surprise. And yeah, I've seen a lot of this stuff there. It's just so cool. It's so creative, and I can't imagine the time that goes into creating like full-scale models of these characters. Okay, see, and here's the thing. I had a feeling you also had the K2SO. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the same person, but I couldn't go and look on Instagram to confirm, and I didn't want to be wrong, and you'd be like, no, that's not me, that's somebody else. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you take your K2 to the Andor Season 2 premiere, or am I dreaming that? If I'm making it up, please let me know. Okay, yes, I thought so. And that's so awesome. I remember seeing the photos from the Andor Season 2 premiere, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the K2SO guy. Such a cool experience, I'm sure. So you said you're 1 month into your newest droid. Do you want to tell us what it is, or are you keeping that a secret for now? Yeah, it's definitely the Euro K2. I miss Andor already. I need to get my Andor poster that I got for Season 1. I need to get that hung. I need to get a frame for it, actually. You said not so secret. Oh, it's on your website. His name is 2LBX. Toolbox, that's great. He's a sphere with 4 toes that will hold over 15 functional tools to deploy at cons for droid or cosplay repair. That is super cool. I love that. It's like life imitates art. It's a cosplay repair droid. Love that. It's so amazing what people can create and come up with. We've got our first little window here, which doesn't look like a lot right now, but once it's like embedded, quote unquote, into the floor, it's going to be a vibe. I need to go to a con. I know, I think it was last week we were talking about Rebel Scum Con. And I think that's in August. See, we're getting there. You can see where we're going with it. This is where we finally get some brown. Breaking up all the gray with gorgeous brown, vibrant brown. But if you know the layout of the Mantis, then you know the brown is going to be up in the cockpit. If you look at the pieces that we have out here, you can see we've got some brown chairs. So we'll be getting to those shortly as well. Now the cockpit is a very interesting portion of the build because the windshield, obviously it's diagonal and it kind of curves up. There's not a piece already made for it, so there's a really interesting way that 2Bricks built the cockpit window. And it looks really good. I wouldn't say that it's the sturdiest, in my opinion, but it looks really good. I'm not sure if we'll get to it today. Only time will tell. But obviously, we'll eventually get to it on these streams. And y'all see exactly what I'm talking about. See, that goes there. And I think... Okay, these are the silver ones. And see, these look like the silver studs, not the dark gray ones. Now, as we can see, we've got a glass panel in the floor. Looks like Darth Vader is still winning our poll, which I'm not surprised. I get it. I'm not gonna lie though, I did go in and vote for Maul. For the drama. I really didn't think we'd be starting this much already, but I think when it comes to this build in general, especially with this portion of the ship, it's kind of just one giant piece. Now Grease's chair obviously is going to sit a little bit more forward. Oh yeah, bad feeling. Every time I'm always like, should I wear my bad feeling shirt for a stream or is that lame? Like how many times can I get away with wearing it before anyone notices like that I've repeated it? I'm actually wearing tonight, and obviously you can't tell because you can't really see it, but it's a Death Trooper shirt. I'm pretty sure it's from Culture Kings, but when I saw that they had a Death Trooper shirt, I was like, I need the Death Trooper shirt. For the longest time, I was like, I don't have a favorite trooper. And then the Death Trooper came along, and I said, oh, that's for me. It's like all black armor, that's for me. The green accents, that's for me. I love my Death Trooper helmet. I really wanted to film an unboxing of it, but I got it like right before I moved. And so the unboxing was not going to happen, unfortunately. So I unceremoniously took it out of the box and put it on the shelf and called it a day. But I want to say that the Death Trooper helmet, the Black Series, Hasbro Black Series Death Trooper helmet was announced at Celebration Japan when Austin and I were doing our Wayseeker Celebration Station, which was so much fun. And I remember that they announced it, and I was like, oh my god, I've been complaining that they haven't done this. Like, this is so perfect. And it even had the working lights. I was considering for the longest time getting a custom Death Trooper helmet. But like the lightsaber I got from, I don't remember what brand it was, but you know, all the lightsaber companies that are out there get things from the same supplier. They just name it differently. It's Boone Kestis, I think was what they called it, but it looks very similar to Seer's lightsaber. And so I got it for that. And then I was like, this is really complicated. I am not smart enough for this saber. So I wouldn't say I'm really great at the DIY decor. And it almost felt too advanced. I was like, I am not smart enough for this. You have an app where you can like control the colors and whatnot. I'm like, ooh. I don't even really know how to work the app. But one day I would like to do more with it. The whole time I'm looking for another one of these angular pieces, and then I realized there's only 3 of them that are supposed to go on here. So that's how my day's going. Yeah, I am an outfit repeater. It's so hard. I don't know if you think about that when it comes to doing a stream or like posting a photo or something, but I'm like, I can't wear this shirt too often because then people will be like, that's all you wear. So I'm always like, okay, what am I going to wear for this stream, or what am I going to wear for this podcast? And have I worn it recently? But I also want it to be something comfy, but I don't want to look like a bum. Like, I don't want to look too comfy. It's a never-ending struggle. Here's our first bit of orange. And like I said last stream, I love the orange accents on this. I know I talked about the outside of the ship being very bright white and blue, and how I wished it was a little more dingy, or worn, I guess you could say. But I love the orange in this. And that's very bright. So if you haven't figured out already, these hinges here are going to be for our doors and the on-ramp, or ramps. When I was talking to my coworker about the stream earlier, they were like, oh, you're building one of your, what did they say? Your Star Wars, did they say spacecraft? They said warship. They're like, you're building like a Star Wars warship, right? And I was like, actually, I'm building the Stinger Mantis, which was originally used as like a luxury yacht. I had to actually, but she was cool about it. And I was mostly kidding. Now the cool thing about this, and kind of as you can see, we've got the regular sized chairs for the front. So minifigures obviously will fit in them. Now, some of the interior is scaled down, but there's still a lot of space, and there's a lot that gets packed in here, which y'all will see in the very near future. As you can see, this portion, that's where our holo table is going to go. And I'm really excited just to see everything together. I'm excited to put it on my shelf. You can kind of see above my head. And I can't remember if I had this last stream. I think I did, but the Venator's on a lovely new acrylic stand behind me. So all you can really see is like the bottom of the back, I guess, wing portion. You can see some minifigures above it. And I feel like I have so much more room now to display more Lego on the back of my shelf. So the Mantis will have a lovely home up there. I'll just have to find some kind of stand that will work for it, because now I want everything on acrylic stands. And they just look so good because they're actually in the air. Oh shit. Let's not. Okay, so that actually makes me think of something here with this build. This portion of the ship, while it ends up sturdy, it is not very sturdy while you are building it until you really get those structural pieces on. Because like these, you saw how easily that fell off. Until we get the pieces that go across, it's going to be a little janky. But that is to accommodate the nice orange pieces, which give it so much more character. Or so much more character. Here, this is what we're going to do to make it easier. Right, there's that one. Okay, yep, this one's going to come off too. So now we have this really nice orange trim. Doesn't that look good? I love it. And it's all these little details and subtleties that are what really drew me to this MOC specifically. I'll have to attempt, once I finish building it, to post some comparison photos between the actual Mantis in the game and then the Lego Mantis. Because, I mean, the details are pretty on point. Like this part right here. Now we're going to build this little flower that's then going to go inside of this. So how about we try to do this in a smart way? Put that there. And then I'm gonna... And I'll show y'all once I get it all together nicely. So now we have this flower in here. Look how good that looks. Well, it's a little crooked, but we can fix that. There, see, doesn't that look good? And don't worry, there will be a whole garden section to the side. I can't even remember what they called it in the first game. They didn't call it a garden because it wasn't a garden. But y'all know what I'm talking about. I really can't remember what they called it in the first game. It wasn't a planter. I don't know. Somebody help me out in the chat, if you know. All right, now we've got both sides. We can see the vision, right? That's a good angle. And as you can see, that's how that flower goes in there. It goes in this brick here. All right, now we're going to add some sturdiness to this. That way I don't feel like I'm going to break it. There's that. Oh, this is going to be fun. Trying to get these pieces in while not trying to break apart is, yeah. I promise it will be more structurally sound when we get the other pieces on, but right now, not so much. You know what, and I don't want to screw this one up, so I'm going to do that. And this is what's going to help keep our walls together. And really help have that kind of curved outer shell that the Mantis has. Okay, we're going to put that there for now. One of these flat pieces has some scuffs on it. And I don't want to put that on the outside. So we're going to put it on the inside. Oh, and I need 2 of them. What am I doing wrong? Oh, that piece wasn't in all the way. That'll do it. Okay, wow. Somehow I feel like this was easier when I built it on the ground. Okay. So there's that. Let's build the other one. Then that should keep everything in this middle section together. Of course, that one fits like a glove. No issues. The inclusion of all these like flat studless pieces also really helps bring the ship to life, make it look so much more sleek and elevated, in my opinion. Okay, we're going to put that to the side. Now we're going to open this bag that I specifically have portioned by itself, and you'll see why. This build, this portion of the build is very cool, and I think you'll be able to tell why once I'm finished. These are actually going to be some of the couches that you see in the Mantis. So for those familiar with the game, like very familiar, These are the couches that Marin sits on after she joins the Mantis crew. So it's not in the cockpit. It's not the couch around like in front of where the kitchen area is, or the galley, I guess you'd call it since we're on a ship. It's the ones around the hollow table. So see, look at that. It's a very interesting building technique, but it's so cool. Oh, and you know, I put them on backwards. There we go. And now as you can see, there's obviously a big gap. And it's kind of funky looking, but you'll see what we're going to fill that in with. So there's one. These pieces are so tiny, and like I don't have big hands, but they're not the easiest to grab when they're this small. I feel like I need tweezers. All right, one more. Like whoever thought of building a Lego couch like this, so smart. And as you can see, now it looks like a couch. Creative, right? I love it. And then last but not least, we've got some legs to put on it. Just for some extra stability. All right, there's our couches. You can see they're in this great curved shape. And they are gonna go right in here. There's one couch. There's the second. Are we seeing the vision? Looks good, right? I'm obsessed. It's better than any Lego vehicles I could have built on my own. It just takes me back to trying to build my own creations with Lego as a kid, and my stepdad could always build super aesthetically pleasing Lego things, and me, the child, could not. I'd always have the most messed up looking car thing. Just a hodgepodge of pieces. I'm hopefully gonna get my gigantic Lego bin that's in my parents' attic out of their attic sooner than later, so that way I can actually find some of those old early sets, because I think it'd be really fun to not necessarily stream them, but just to build them and have them Because some of them are really iconic now. Now this obviously is going to turn into one of our walls. And see, this is a nice dark gray too. It's not super bright or anything. So it does feel a little bit more worn. I almost wished they would have used some of this on the outside. This is where we get to add in these funky clear pieces too, which I feel like you never get these clear pieces, but these are going to be added in for our windows. Because that's the one thing about the Mantis. There's lots of little windows in there. And you don't even notice them necessarily. But if you pay attention specifically when like the Mantis is first jumping into hyperspace, that's where you kind of get a glimpse. You can see the stars kind of doing the hyperspace thing when the ship jumps. Alright, so there's one. We're going to add this nice clear piece on top, which will complete the look. Alright, so here is panel number 1. That's going to go there. All right, here we go. And there's our first panel on the ship. See, we're getting somewhere. It's working! It's working! All right, let's build another one. For the opposite side. Oh shit, that is a bright gray. We need this dark gray. I'm interested too to see what y'all think in general of this build. Like, would you go out and purchase a Lego mock? Dr. Sci-Fi said, when I'm droid building and something works, I always think of young Anakin yelling, "It's working." I'm not even embarrassed by it. I can quote so much of episode 1, and it's got some of the most quotable dialogue. I feel like I do "it's working a lot. This isn't no, this is episode 1 as well. I feel like I say a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. I feel like I say that all the time too. Which is a Palpatine quote. Where he's like, "Oh yeah, I was so surprised to be nominated for Chancellor. How could that have ever happened to little old me? Is a part of your plan the whole time." Trying to act all humble. And like, he probably had killed... No, I guess Darth Plagueis was still around at that point, because isn't it the night that he wins the election that he kills Plagueis? I could be wrong. I own the Darth Plagueis novel. I have not read it yet. The Darth Plagueis novel gave me some side eye after I bought 6 other books and started reading them before. But I'm going to read Darth Plagueis. I've heard so much good stuff about it. Unfortunately, they canceled the Acolyte, so who knows when we'll see Plagueis again. So I said, you know what? Let me get this novel so I know what Darth Plagueis is all about. And there's our second panel. All right, let's get this one on there. All right, so we've kind of starting to get the shape of the Mantis now. As you can see, it's got these tilted sides. Slanted, I guess, is a better word for it. We've got our couches. We've got our doors to get in. I want to say this might be the portion that is the wall into the cockpit. So we're going to kind of build that archway. So speaking of, well, I guess not speaking of, we weren't talking about music before, but the lo-fi track that is playing right now is my Dantooine Outback lo-fi based off of the song Dantooine Outback from KOTOR 2. It's one of my favorite tracks in the game. I feel like you hear it a lot, especially as you're just roaming around Dantooine. However, someone, I'm pretty sure it was in Japan, streamed it like 116 times last week, according to my Spotify for Artists account. So whoever you are in Japan that streamed this song over 100 times last week, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. I want to say that this track is more popular on Spotify. However, the Jedi Fallen Order lo-fi is more popular on Apple Music. Right, let's get this popped on. And now we're getting there. Now this panel is secure. We're going to build one for the other side. I think the next lo-fi track I'm going to put out is going to be the Ahsoka one as it starts playing. I didn't even plan that. But yeah, I think Ahsoka lo-fi is going to be the next one. I definitely want to try and get it out before Ahsoka Season 2, or in time for Ahsoka Season 2. I know myself and a lot of others are hypothesizing that Ahsoka Season 2 is going to come out in the fall or winter, so that gives me a good amount of time to work on it. I mean, it's basically done. I just want to, finalize the drums, because right now they're just kind of a repetitive something. And I might want to change up the production just a little bit. Nothing drastic, but we'll see what happens. You said, how am I going to do the doors at the other end, the ones you can't open? Which doors are you referring to? Because we've got this so far, and then we've got these here, these doors. Are you talking about the doors? Where are they? Are they back in the back area of the ship? I want to say they're in the back area of the ship. Cole Griffiths 5971. Back in like the bunk area. Yeah, so I can actually show you. With this build, I've already built the back portion of the ship for scale. I've already built the back portion of the ship. And this is what we've got for Cal's bunk area. So with this build, which I did not make it, it's a mock by 2Bricks. I've got the link in the description. With this mock, there's not really an area for those doors, but you can't go through them anyway. You know what I mean? That's one of the things I'm hoping for with Jedi 3. I'm like, I want to know what's downstairs in the Mantis, because there is a downstairs section. There's like a little ladder that goes over a ledge, and I want to say, if my mind serves me right, that either Marin had a bed down there or Fret, Marin's like short-term girlfriend from Jedi Battle Scars. I think she was staying down there. Or, I'm sorry. I don't remember what Fret's gender is off the top of my head. I think it was a she. Regardless, I think that's where Fret was staying down there. At some point in the book, they go down into the bottom section of the ship, and I was like, we never go down there in the game, so I hope we go down there in the game when Jedi 3 comes out. I mean, Kata's got to have somewhere to sleep, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure if it's she or they. I know there was a comment about like their chest being flat, and I was like, okay, are they trans? Or it's never really explicitly stated, but I really liked the character. All right, so we're gonna put that there. I'm gonna build the hollow table next. So this is a cool little design here, and y'all see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Uh-oh, Dr. Sci-Fi said I inspired them to put up a calendar on their website when I have a future con visits planned. That's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. And then I can go check it. All right, so this is so funky. We've got this cylindrical piece. We're going to take this piece, stick it on here upside down. We've got this piece. We're going to also put it in upside down. And like I said, this is going to be our hollow table, so this is the beginning. We've got our control panel, which is going to go there. And if y'all recall, it's got kind of an angular side. It's not like fully circular. So we're going to build these pieces to go on the side of it. Wow, the poll went down even further. Vader 75%, Maul 25%. Y'all really don't think Maul has a chance. Going back to Jedi Battle Scars, though, I said this when I was streaming Jedi Survivor, but I really do think that Jedi Battle Scars, at least for me, really enhanced where all the characters were at the time in Jedi Survivor. It really gave me context onto where our characters had been, why they were all apart. And I feel like if people didn't, like for the people who didn't read Jedi Survivor, or gosh, I'm getting all the names mixed up. For the people who did not read Jedi Battle Scars, I really think it was a disservice to the experience. I really thought it enhanced the game a lot. I would love if they did another book leading into whatever Jedi 3 is going to be. All right, you see, we're getting more table-like. Put our control panel on here. There's our little control panel. All right, now this part is for the planets. Hopefully I don't screw this up, because there's like a perfect way to go about putting them on. Thanks, Crystal. I made it myself. No. Well, I made it myself. I did not create it myself. But the instructions definitely come in handy. Gosh. These pieces are so tiny. But this is what's going to be our planets. And there's like a perfect way to swivel these around. That way they don't look so perfect, I guess you could say. Now I did change up some of the studs for the planets than the ones in the instructions. I did this kind of blue, this light blue for Zepho. Obviously we have the green for Kashyyyk. They have an orange for Dathomir, but I decided to put a red. And then we have a yellow for Bogano. There's our planets. It's honestly such a cute scale. Like, for this little hollow table, it's so cute. Alright, and we're going to put this like that. There's our hollow table. It's so great. I think it just looks so good. Then we're going to put this in here. Like that. There we go. We seeing the vision? The Star Wars vision? Alright, let's continue. There's a bunch of cute details like that with the planter in there, and also in the... I feel like I have to call it a galley because it's a ship, but in the kitchen. Hey, Sublight. You are flying, like in the air? I didn't know that they had my stream on available to watch on flights. Well, I guess you said you were flying, but you're here now. Well, I'm glad you're here. Would this be considered like the hull of the ship? Because like when I'm making posts for it, I'm like, it's everything else. It's the part that you get to inhabit in the game. Maybe that's a better way to put it. How's your day been, Sublight? It's the bit behind the hindquarters and the cockpit. So the ship's gooch. Oh my god. That's perfect. Isn't that also called a taint? Would this be considered the Mantis's taint? I feel like I shouldn't even say that word on stream, but oh well, too late. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to talk about Heated Rivalry this stream, even though I did start the book and I'm 9 chapters in. But I also started watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the new Game of Thrones universe show. And I watched the first 3 episodes. Didn't love it. I don't hate it. But I'm like, nothing's wowed me yet. Nothing's really sucked me into the show. And I'm pretty sure there's only 6 episodes. So hopefully, with me being halfway through, it's going to pick up. Andrew, so clever. Tain't nothing to worry about. Oh, you're seeing Chapel Roan tomorrow, Sublight? That's exciting. I actually just posted on Twitter. I came across somebody had posted the images of her character that's going to be put in Fortnite. And I was like, oh my god. At first I was like, this looks like Mara Jade fan art. So then, of course, I had to comment, what did I say? Mara Jade but woke or something. I'm sure no one's going to see it because of the shitty algorithm. But, you know, I posted it anyway. All right, there's that portion of the wall. This is obviously going to be another panel. If you're seeing Chapel Roan tomorrow, that means you'll be seeing her on Thursday. I wish it was Thursday now. That would be Friday for you, Sublight. All right, there's that. Here's a question. Sublight built the Dark Falcon, or not the Dark Falcon, but did the Dark Falcon alt build of the Mantis. How does this compare? Public holiday Friday. Now I'm really jealous. But yeah, how does this Mantis compare to the Dark Falcon Mantis? All right, there's our next panel. Well, July 4th in America is a lie, so is your holiday a lie too? Oh, it's way larger? Well, I guess it is pretty big. Like I said, I still haven't even put the ship all the way together yet because I built it in pieces, but I didn't think the Dark Falcon alt was so small. But like I said, I don't think I realized how big this ship's going to be. So we'll all find out together. Oh, you can see my clone trooper tattoo. I feel like no one ever gets to see that. I just love the 332nd clones. The design with the markings on their helmets. It's just such a fun design. And an emotional moment in the Clone Wars Season 7. Now imagine that reveal with all the clones with their helmets painted like Ahsoka's facial markings if we hadn't seen it before. Because after they canceled the Clone Wars, they did a Clone Wars The Untold Tales panel at Celebration. I want to say it was 2015. And we saw animatics, or like concept art of all the clones with their helmets painted like Ahsoka's facial markings. So while it was still a powerful moment when we got to see it officially, imagine had we never known that was going to happen. And then we saw it, that moment would have hit so much harder. And y'all want to know how I know it was the Clone Wars panel in 2015 because I reference it a ton because y'all know I make lots of videos about Star Wars animation. And that panel has some great clips in it. Thanks for hanging out, Dr. Sci-Fi. I really appreciate it. Everyone definitely go check out Dr. Sci-Fi on Instagram and their website. I can't wait to see how the new droid turns out. Hey, Brennan. Page turners they were not. How's your night going? We're making a lot of progress, as you can see. And I mean that legitimately. All right. This is our next window. Oh, well, I won't need that. Oops, shit. Oh, and our poll's now at 80% Vader, 20% Maul. I don't know why I thought Maul might have some more support. Thanks, Brennan. It's definitely spiffy. I'm excited to get into all these little details. So far, we've got the pilot chairs, the couches, the hollow table. There's that. All right. Now I'm missing 2 pieces that I need. One there. There's one more. Somewhere there is one more piece. Well, maybe there's not, and we'll just have to skip it for now. That seems to be a trend with this stream. Nope, those are all 3 pieces. Alright, we're just going to skip it for now. Shouldn't mess with the integrity of the ship. Hold on. This other piece didn't have this circular flat piece on it, did it? Y'all know it wouldn't be a Scotty Lego build if I didn't miss a bunch of pieces. Okay, no, that one does not have it on there. There's that. We've got our window panel. Perfect. Okay, that was not great. Is that supposed to be attached better? Let me make sure that I've got that attached right. Oh, nope, that's just how it goes. Okay. Here's what we're working with so far. Oh, that's a good shot. I wish it would zoom or focus on the hollow table. But yeah, here's our interior so far. All right, let's set this down back here, and we're going to build the next portion of the ship. Now this section is going to be where the table is. There we go. Oh, here's the piece I was looking for. I knew I would find it. And then I just broke the ship. Okay. Well. Okay. There. We're going to set that back to the side now. Not mess with it anymore. Because I'm liable to break something else. Like I said, unfortunately, while you're doing the build, it's not super stable. But once you get everything together, it is stable. It's just getting to that point. Which I get it, because there's so much focus in this build about presentation versus integrity. We've got some stairs going on here. Where's the other shiny piece? There it is. So you got our little steps. We're going to add these red pieces in here randomly. I don't know what for. Maybe they're going to help it stick to wherever we're putting these pieces. I don't know. But that's why they're the boring red studs, not the cool transparent ones. Oh, I lied. You're not even going to see them. Alright, there's that. Now I'm supposed to have a piece that goes across here. And I don't know where that is. Interesting, very interesting. Let me make sure it's not in another bag. And those are all the windshield pieces. Well, just like the other part, I can deal with that later. Or we put that one there. Need the two light gray pieces. That's the crazy thing with Lego. Like, you can have it all right in front of you, and you don't even notice the piece you're looking for. And then magically it just appears. Or at least that's what it feels like. Now the scale of this is obviously a bit smaller as well. So keep that in mind as we are building our table. Because okay, so for example, these are our chairs. Just these little 2 stud pieces, but it gets the job done. Like, those look like chairs. Can any minifigure fit in them? No, but that's okay. All right, now I have to attempt to get this in here the way it's supposed to go. Oh. And it goes like so, which makes sense. That lines up all our stairs and everything looks perfect. All right, so there's our chairs. Now this is a really interesting portion of the ship. So to make sure these walls stay in place, we're actually going to use these tiny pieces and we're going to put them in there and then connect them. Let me do it so y'all can see. We put it through that circular piece there, and then we connect it by attaching it to this stud. Or at least that's what we attempt to do. I might not be able to do it at that angle. Hey Robin, how are you? You've come just in time for this to actually look like the Mantis. All right, let's see. Perfect. All right, we got 1 attached. And as you can see now, it's nice and in place. You're having the hardest homework ever? Well, perfect time for you to take a break to hang out with us. I'm sorry that your homework is being so difficult, though. Of course, that one went in perfect. But yeah, now these walls are attached. It's looking good. What subject is your homework for? I'm sure I'm horrible at it, especially if it's math. And then to secure those gray pieces, we're going to put this long piece on the back. And now they're even more secure than before. Rhetoric. Is that a subject? I know that's a word. I'm not really sure what the point of these pieces here is. Maybe it's supposed to be a ramp. I can't remember if there's like a little bit of a ramp into the back of the ship, but we have one here in this build. It's rhetoric criticism class. Boring. I'll take your word for it. All right, now we're going to build our little table. So I'm going to put this here. See, it's so much more sturdy now. Like, is this a custom set? Yes, it's a Lego mock, which is a maker's own creation. It's an acronym. And it was made by 2Bricks, who is a creator that I have linked in the description. How is school going overall, Robin? Two bricks, yep. Meanwhile, this set is like 2,000 bricks. 2,000 plus. Update you on what's new with Star Wars. Well, Maul Shadow Lord is coming out on April 6th, I'm pretty sure it is. We've got a comic leading into it, which is, I think, called Shadow of Maul, if I'm not mistaken. I always fuck that name up, so I could be wrong. And I feel like that's like the big news that's going on right now. It's Maul Shadow Lord. Disney's got a new CEO. That was, I think it was officially announced today. That'll take place in March. What's up with the Maul? John? Maul Wan? What is up with it? Maul is going to be on a new planet called Janix that is untouched by the Empire. And he is going to be doing his crime lord stuff there. He's going to meet this Twi'lek character named Devin, who is an Order 66 survivor. And there's like a detective cop smuggler looking guy named, I think it's Brander Lawson, who it seems like Devin, the Order 66 girl, is working with. And on top of that, there's going to be Zabraks, there's going to be Inquisitors, there's going to be the Pikes, obviously. We saw them in the trailer. It looks really good. I think one of my favorite behind-the-scenes details so far is that a lot of the backgrounds that you see in the show were physically painted, and not on paper, but on glass. They were painted on glass, and they are being used in the show. So we've got like physical backgrounds again in Star Wars, which feels insane for this era. But I love it. It literally takes it back to the matte paintings of the original trilogy. Oh, oops, I don't know how I did that. Who knows what the last thing that I said was. But anyways, I had to buy all the pieces separately. All I bought from 2Bricks was the instructions for the Lego itself. Let me get this table in here really quick. All right, so let me see. We've got our table now. We've got almost our entire couch. And so all of these pieces here I had to source separately, which was a whole process in itself. And luckily there's a list that you get when you make the purchase from the creator. And I had to go in and separately put all the pieces in little Ziploc bags myself, because I think I bought pieces from like 8 different stores. It's a whole process. It's a lot. I had to go in and individually count, make sure I had each piece, but it's all worth it, I think. Because as we can see, like, we're not even done yet, but look how good it's already looking. And then once we have it all together, it's going to look magnificent. There's our kitchen area so far. You can see down to the hollow table. And yeah. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for tonight. But I do want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. Make sure to, well, I'll make sure I see you next Tuesday for the continuation of this build. This is where all the little details are coming together, and we're really getting the feel for the Mantis, not just with the color scheme, but like this is the Mantis. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Make sure to like the stream and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Come hang out in the chat next week where we'll continue the build of the Mantis. See you next Tuesday, and may the Force be with you.